Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she yells, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running a theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog ate it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear a shout. Shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on her Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one." Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one."
All caps means you're either panicking or trying to represent yourself in court. Both are mistakes. Your feelings are adorable, but they're not admissible, persuasive, or even interesting without evidence. Yes, Heather hates immunity doctrines. It's a personality trait at this point. You don't need to remind her, she wakes up angry about it. Bring receipts. No, I heard it from so and so. This is quid pro quo, not next door. Screenshots are statutes only. Don't fight each other. Fight the law. It deserves it more. If you're offended, excellent. That means you're awake, paying attention, and probably new here. No diagnosing the host. She's petty, not pathological. And don't diagnose anyone else. Stay in your lane, please and thank you. Do not summon the mods. They're tired, hangry, and may bite when provoked. Disagree loudly if you must. The algorithm eats drama for breakfast. Just keep it cute while you argue wrongfully. If you're taking screenshots of my chat, touch grass, tell your handlers. I said hi and find a hobby that isn't me.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the second live of the day. I know I'm trying to multitask. What the actual fuck is going on? And Jeffrey, I see you. I'm not panicking, you are. Well, we have some new rules in the chat. So you saw the petty rules. I'll be sticking to them. My mods bite, and so do I. It's Friday night. It's the weekend before Christmas. And I need a beer. With that being said, holy shit. We started the day off with Mia Bailey's sentencing. And now we're here. So we have two things. We have all of the Levy County documents except for 104. The order for... Sorry, when you have 8 tabs open, the order for granting defendant's motion for sanctions is the only one that hasn't been released. However, I want to pause for a moment before we get into these documents because this is one of those situations where I don't really need to provide a lot of commentary. The courts did it for us in both the federal and the local. And sorry, this isn't bugging me all day. To the person in my comment section, I love you. You are great. You are a good person. I am not picking on you at all, and this is not meant to be. But Federal 3, the civil rights case, you told me that I was the only person who called this a federal case. Well, it's on Pacer. It's filed in federal court, ergo the name. Not trying to be mean, but sometimes I just look at things and I'm like, I have to take a step back and not be rude because my first instinct was to go, "Are you fucking stupid? It's federal court. It's on Pacer. It's federal." I thought that was kind of common sense, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not. So the court did the commentary for us. I don't need to. What you're about to see is not internet drama, YouTube beef, and not a difference of opinion. This is the court order, signed, filed, sealed, delivered. And when a judge takes the time to explain that the communications are being stricken from the record, that's not someone's license to practice law, and that conduct crossed into unauthorized practice of law. That's not petty, that's procedural reality. Just like when someone says, "You don't have enough to bring this case. You didn't give me enough evidence." That is not petty, that is procedural drama. I have thoughts because the document that I first brought you this morning on my first short, where they filed a motion to add the exhibits, that now is sealed. So I only have the first page that was sent to me or the second page that was sent to me. However, um, it it's it's a thing because they didn't realize. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the screenshot that I was sent to let me know that that was live so I could go get it, and I was just busy this morning with another topic, so I wasn't able to actually go and get it. However, um, this right here, edit with preview. Here we go. We're gonna go into this one and just this screenshot. So I need to stop sharing that, and I will explain to you what I was talking about this morning because there we go. I was sent this screenshot. And what my major argument and laughable moments with this was this background and legal argument. So this right here, not until plaintiffs filed their response to the motion to dismiss on Friday, December 12th, did the undersigned counsel realize that exhibits were not part of the motion. The person who was defending Daniel Owen in this case is an assistant state attorney general or senior assistant state attorney general. You're telling me you made it to that position of senior assistant attorney general and you couldn't figure out how to attach and ensure that your motion was filed correctly? Like I said, on this channel, I call out everybody. I don't care if you're the damn president of the United States or you're the lowest, poorest person in the country. You act like a stupid asshole, I'm gonna treat you like a stupid asshole. You telling me that someone who works in the attorney general's office for the state of Florida can't figure out how to attach exhibits to a motion and ensure that his motion is filed correctly? It takes what? November 21st to December 12th? It's what? 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks? Oh, 3 weeks? Sorry, 3 weeks-ish to figure out that you messed up? I think this judge did the state a favor by dismissing this, and I say this because this exposes how stupid the Attorney General's office in the state of Florida is. If you got lawyers like this, y'all are supposed to be some of the best lawyers in the country. That's how you make it to be in the Attorney General's office. Y'all are fucking dumb. Florida, get your shit together. You really need to get your house cleaned up in more ways than one. Like, Florida is only a little corrupt, yeah. It's just like a little perjury, you know? However, it's just like that is the first thing I noticed of like how Florida stupid. You're supposed to be some of the best attorneys in the country to get into the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General signed that document. And y'all can't remember? Like, I'm just gonna open up the original motion to dismiss just to make sure, or just to be on our mind our P's and Q's here. Anthony Dean Johnson is who is representing. Look at this. I'm gonna stop sharing this one, and I'm gonna share this one. So I might be getting a little petty this morning or this evening, but like this just annoys me from like you're supposed to be smarter than the rest of us. You're lawyers. You're lawyers in the Attorney General's office. This was signed by the Attorney General of Florida, and they didn't realize that they didn't put any exhibits on it. How effing stupid can you be? Like this is a squid rant through and through. Like, and this my rant has nothing to do with Jeremy or Randy or that case or their case. You're supposed to be a fucking attorney. Like, I'm sorry. Senior Assistant Attorney General. This was also submitted by the Attorney General, and y'all can't remember how to put 3 exhibits on a damn motion? Are you? This is the best Florida has. I'm not feeling great. Like, yeah, that's true too. Good point. Remember Pam Bondi used to, fucking boob job Bondi. Like, so starting the stream off on a great note. There's my little rant about how stupid the Attorney General's office is in Florida. And Anthony Dean Johnson, I'm sorry, not how you handle this case, because unfortunately this case is dismissed. However, going forward, I don't think you should have this job because you're stupid. you for having such a high fucking degree, you a dumbass. Hey Patrick W, long time no see. Where the hell have you been? This is seriously bullshit. There's bullshit things on multiple levels. However, I'm not gonna lie, I basically from the beginning, you can go back and check my streams on this. I was not thinking that this case was going to go anywhere. And I say that 2 reasons. Not because Jeremy doesn't have a point. I do think that this whole situation with the sheriff's office and the prosecutor were handled very poorly. However, there is 2 major issues to get through. There's 2 major issues to get through. One of them being the immunity. And before I go off on another rant on immunity, you saw it in the rules. I hate immunity. I hate immunity doctrine. It's practically part of my personality. I hate all sorts of immunity. If you've seen my Hannah Dugan coverage, you've seen that. Speaking of the Hannah Dugan coverage, I do have some of the transcripts from the federal trial in Milwaukee this week, and we will be starting to go through them next week. However, just a fucking nightmare. All right. So getting to the motion to dismiss. This surprisingly, reading through it, has nothing to do with the immunity part. This goes back, in my opinion, to Randy being spread too thin. Be it, I don't have conversations with Randy, I don't have conversations with Jeremy, so this is an outsider's perspective. But we will read through this and you will see exactly why the judge dismissed it. And surprisingly, it had nothing to do with the state of Florida or immunity. Oh, I completely agree. We're not even going to get there. All right. Order granting motion to dismiss. Plaintiffs are Ohio residents who obtained protection orders from an Ohio court relating to the dispute with two non-parties. Plaintiffs sued Daniel Rex Owen, a state official employed by the state of Florida, who they say violated their rights by not enforcing those protection orders. Owen moved to dismiss, and this order grants his motion. Plaintiffs have not stated any claim. Right there. To survive a motion to dismiss, a complaint must contain sufficient factual matter accepted as true to state a claim to relief that is plausible on its face. Everybody's favorite cited case, Ashcroft v. Iqbal. A claim has facial plausibility when a plaintiff pleads factual content that allows the court to draw a reasonable inference that the defendant is liable for the misconduct alleged. As a preliminary matter, a plaintiff takes issue with phantom exhibits. Owen references in his motion to dismiss but neglected to include. Plaintiffs are generally correct that Rule 12b-6 stage review is limited to the complaint's four corners. And here, I need not look beyond the four corners to conclude plaintiffs have not stated any claim. So the fact that they didn't provide the motion or the exhibits in that motion doesn't matter, because the judge was thinking dismissal before that even happened. So, and Freckled, thank you for the $10 super chat just because I appreciate you. And thanks for the $20 super chat as well. Let's get those Pacer bills covered. I spent $74 on them transcripts. $74, and I only got 2 days worth, or two people. I got defense opening statements and I got a judge that testified against her. And that's all I got. And that cost me $74.80. Just, And hey, everybody in the chat today, I do see you guys. I am not ignoring you. I am just trying to get through this. This is legal chaos. But usually we do a legal chaos Friday where we have little snippets of different cases and the most chaotic cases that I can find where I've started covering on the internet. And today, it's just one person. Boy. Yeah, I remember to hit the like button. Did you? No problem. I appreciate it. I wanted to get shorts out to you guys to let you know that I had the documents, and I did plan on covering them, because otherwise sometimes I get flooded with messages. Are you going to cover this? Are you going to cover this? So I've started trying to do shorts and or community posts to let you guys know I see it. I see y'all. I'm getting there. The sentencing of Mia Bailey just took priority this morning, and I'm kind of glad I waited because this came out too. So, alrighty. Thus, although Owen has subsequently, that word is so hard today, filed the attachments, I have not considered them. The gist of plaintiff's complaint is that Owen neglected to enforce the protection orders and instead inquired about whether plaintiff committed perjury in securing those orders. Plaintiff contends Owen thus violated 18 U.S. Code 2265 by not affording the protection orders full faith and credit. They also allege due process violation. First, there's no plausible claim for a violation of 18 U.S. Code 2265, even assuming there is a private right of action under this provision, or that it is enforceable through 1983, both doubtful assumptions. The statute says certain out-of-state orders shall, there's the key word, be accorded full faith and credit by the court order of another state, Indian tribe, or territory, and enforced by the court and law enforcement personnel of the other state. 18 U.S. Code 2265. Plaintiffs have not alleged that Owen was a court or law enforcement. And this is where we had that discussion. Prosecutors are, under Florida law, are not seen as officers of the court. It's a weird distinction, but it's important. The fact that Florida doesn't recognize prosecutors as officers of the court, I think is fucking ridiculous because they work for the court. That's their whole job. But in the full faith and credit, it is the absolute distinction. And if you go back to that stream, Chat and I had a back and forth for about an hour about, I don't agree with it, but welcome to Florida. What we want and what we think is right isn't always what is right under the law. What we think is morally and ethically right is not always fair under the law. Life isn't fair, and that proves it. So I didn't think that this was going to stand up based on the fact that a prosecutor is not seen as an officer of the court. Why they do that, I have no fucking idea. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but from everything I could find, that's the way it is. It's one of them effed up situations where what I want to happen and what I think logically will happen are two different things. And it sucks. Oh, Snipe Hunter. You're lucky I like you. Yeah, just keep in mind this dismissal is worth its weight in gold from the Owens response. They literally argued the sheriff's department was to blame and not so many words. That's true. That's true. So there's a separate suit against the officers that will probably be more likely to succeed. We'll get to that. Right now, there's nothing. Like I said, I don't talk to Jeremy. This is one of the reasons that I try to maintain as outside of perspective as I can, because I talk to none of these people. Well, you see, he was sued individually, but he was acting in an official capacity, so it really doesn't matter. I see your point. I want to agree with you. I really do. But I just don't. Because he was sued as an individual, but the actions he took were he could use as an official capacity under his job. So I see your point, but I don't agree with it. And sometimes that's where me and Chat don't get along, and that's why people talk shit about me, because I don't. Sorry, I call it like I see it, and sometimes I see it without the emotion behind it and without any personal involvement. And I just read the statute and I read the document and I compare the two. And also, this judge is the judge that's handling federal 2 in a certain capacity. So, all right. Plaintiffs have not alleged Owen was a court or law enforcement. Indeed, they have not alleged much of anything about him other than he is a state employee who sent one innocuous email. Moreover, they never allege what he was, in their view, supposed to do or how he should have enforced the orders. There are, in short, no facts alleged to show a plausible claim based on 2265. All right, getting back to these footnotes. I like to finish the paragraph before I go into footnotes. For those of you who are new here, I do not skip them. I generally always read footnotes. However, I finish the paragraph we are in before I read the footnotes to complete a thought. So footnote 1, Owen's counsel did not comply with Rule 5.2, which generally requires redaction of documents with social security numbers and other personal information. The court will direct the clerk to seal the attachments, and that's why the document was sealed. I thought I downloaded it, but I guess I didn't. I thought I had downloaded it, but I either downloaded it to a different place or I didn't save it, which could really be a possibility with me lately, is just me not saving something. Let's see. I'm going to look again just to ensure that I didn't screw that up. Because I swear I saw it somewhere. If I find that that it is saved, I will that I saved it somewhere else, I will look for it and give it to you guys. Redacted, of course. But I swear I saved it and I just can't find it. Which sometimes happens when I'm doing 10 million things at once. Nope. I thought I put it in the Hannah Dugan file and I didn't. Well. Oh my God, no saved or lost documents. You will find it. You never lose that stuff. I swear I had it open and I just don't know what I did with it. It's so bizarre because I usually keep it. I usually make sure that things are saved before they I don't understand why Florida doesn't see prosecutors as an officer of the court. I don't understand it. I can't explain it. I can't tell you how they're seen. I don't get it. But according to the statutes, they are not interpreted as a member of the court or law enforcement. I don't know you'd have to talk to Florida law enforcement or Florida officials about that. I have absolutely no idea. I think it's fucking stupid considering they work for the court. The only plausible thing that I can think of is that Florida doesn't recognize them as officers of the court so that they avoid any appearance of corruption, because I say this because if you look at like a typical criminal case, like Sarah Boone in Orange County, I use that because it's the most popular and the easiest to describe. The prosecutors and the state are technically both the state. They're on the same team. So maybe Florida doesn't define prosecutors as officers of the court to keep that distinction and keep that appearance of bias out of the way. I have no idea. That would be the only plausible thing I could think of, but then again, that's using logic and common sense, and as we all know, that's a fucking curse word in 2025, so who the hell knows? Yeah, and that's the thing. If you look at some of the, like the ABA, and even like the Florida Bar, it will describe lawyers as officers of the court. All lawyers, doesn't matter if you're a defense attorney, you're a prosecutor, you're a judge, you are a licensed attorney, you are an officer of the court. So the wording is really weird in the statute, but it separates the two, and it's so dumb. Like, it's so stupid. I don't get it. I don't I don't yeah, there's that too. I don't understand it. But that's just the way it is. In either its constitutional or statutory incarnations, the full faith and credit clause is the rule of decision for courts, not an implied federal cause of action. Construing Parental Kidnapping Prevention Act, and if the statute itself does not display an intent to create a private remedy, then a cause of action does not exist and courts may not create one, no matter how desirable that might be as a policy matter or how compatible with the statute the citation was cleaned up. So I don't know, it's weird. I get it. It's weird. But here we are. Yeah, officer of the court is for general court decorum, in my humble opinion. And you'd be, well, I guess you wouldn't be surprised if you followed that. How many lawyers don't have decorum? It makes the bad seed sanctionable, implied basic rules of the court. My expert in Florida law enforcement purgatory. Elected state attorney and assistant prosecutors are solely for bringing criminal cases in front of a court. Oddly enough, law enforcement can't pursue charges without a prosecutor. Crazy thought. Yeah, Gail's comment perfectly sums it up. It's a weird rock and a hard place. And what we think makes sense and what we think is morally and ethically right isn't always legally right. It's the conundrum we live in. Life ain't fair. And it sucks. Second, the due process claim fares no better. That claim, as pleaded, is difficult to understand. I'm just glad that I'm not the only person who had a difficult time reading that motion, reading that claim, and being like, did I read that right? I thought it was just me being stupid. But if Judge Windsor can't figure it out either, I don't feel so bad. But in responding to the motion to dismiss, plaintiffs explain it this way. By ignoring the validity of the Ohio protection orders and instead initiating an investigation into truthfulness of Plaintiff Hale's statements in obtaining those orders, Defendant Owen effectively nullified the protection orders without any process whatsoever. There are a number of problems with this, but the most obvious is that plaintiffs have pleaded no facts plausibly suggesting Owen nullified anything. Even if he asked for a copy of the documents and pondered whether plaintiff obtained the orders unlawfully, that does not nullify any valid order. It does not preclude a court or law enforcement from acting on the orders. I disagree with him slightly on that, but I think he's also giving everybody in this situation the benefit of the doubt that they are adults and acted as adults. And we've seen in Levy County, Florida, apparently very few people. I get a couple people in here who are from Levy County, and they seem like perfectly well-adjusted adults. However, there are quite a few people that we've seen from Levy County who are not capable of acting like an adult. I'm just, and Gareth Bolter, thanks for being a member for 8 months. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, but here's the thing. It doesn't preclude them from acting on the orders, but they did. The cops did. And yes, there is the argument that's been made, and even Jeff even said it. Law enforcement can't pursue charges without a prosecutor. So generally, we've seen in 2025 that people will not be arrested because they know they won't be charged, and it's a waste of their time. Rock and a hard place. Rock and hard place. Like, it's one of those things where, like, it doesn't make any fucking sense, and it kind of sucks, and it's kind of awful for everybody who lives in Levy County to have cops and a prosecutor like that. It's just one of those situations that Florida law, 2025, people suck. And not to defend the judge, but he can only take what he's given, and he can only take what he's given. He doesn't know all the extra crap that we know. But once we finish this, I will give you my thoughts, because I've had thoughts about this for a while, and this just amplifies those thoughts. So Footnote 3, the closest plaintiffs get in paragraph 15, where they insert defendant in quoting Officer Williams' report, which itself suggests that Owen is assistant state attorney, but an assistant state attorney is not law enforcement personnel of Florida. That's the problem. For purposes of 18 U.S. Code 2265, concluding prosecutor's conduct fell outside the statutory definition of law enforcement, defining powers and duties of a state assistant state attorney, defining law enforcement as one who has authority to bear arms and make arrests. I mean, this sucks on multiple levels, going from the judge writing this, Jeremy's side. I can't imagine how Jeremy feels right now, because I believe Jeremy was wronged. However, not everything that happens to us in life, unfortunately, is actionable. And what really sucks about this is a safety problem, because we all know the other side of the coin is a little off the rocker. They're more than welcome to come in here and explain themselves. But you sorry, John Cook, if you ever come back in here pulling a pew-pew on someone just because you're mad at them is a bullshit reason. Like, we have a locked drawer right here with, Second Amendment's best friend in it. But that doesn't mean I just go pull it on people because I get mad at them. That is illegal on so many levels. And the fact that that's a whole nother can of worms that we just can't, I don't agree with the judge. However, he only has the paperwork before him. Yeah. This is true too. Chucky brings up a really good point. Prosecutors' offices like to have a high batting average, almost guaranteed wins. So if they can't almost guarantee a win, they won't bring a case. Which in some ways is good for us, because it's less likely for them to charge us with BS crimes that they know we didn't do just because they'll lose. However, it really sucks when you believe that you have a cause and it John doesn't see well, so he couldn't tell if it was a phone or a pew-pew. Why is a drunk who can't see? That, it's a really good question. Yeah, the rocker left the chat a long time ago. You're a little hot sauce short of a Bloody Mary. Can you tell where my mind is at right now? All right. Regardless, plaintiffs have not alleged facts to support any substantive due process claim. Noting in the substantive due process analysis, it is generally the state's affirmative act of restraining liberty that gives rise to substantive due process. It is not failure to act to protect citizens from harm. Where no custodial relationship exists, conduct by a government actor will rise to the level of a substantive due process violation only if the act can be characterized as arbitrary or conscience-shocking in a constitutional sense, and noting intentional wrongs seldom meet that standard. Owen raised other arguments, including prosecutorial immunity and qualified immunity, but I need not address anything more than what is set out above. Plaintiffs have not plausibly alleged any claim. The clerk will enter a judgment that says plaintiff's claims are dismissed on the merits for failure to state a claim. So regardless of what we think about prosecutorial immunity, this dismissal has nothing to do with the immunity claim or the immunity defense. This has everything to do with Randy not stating a claim. Here is my thought process behind that and why I've said this multiple times, and people have gotten very angry with me for stating this. Although I believe Jeremy has plenty of merit in his claims, and he has been wronged on multiple levels. Not everything in life that is unfair is actionable in a court of law. As shitty as that sounds, that's another really good question. Your guess is as good as mine. Is he allowed to have pews now under this protection order? Anyone know? I don't know. I don't know much about the Ohio case, to be honest with you. There is so much in my brain right now that certain things have to be left out. Otherwise, I will forget everything. For those of you who don't know and are just seeing me for the first time, I had brain surgery in 2020. I do not like to use that as an excuse. However, I cover more topics than just this. And there are just certain things that I just cannot cover based on how deep they go, how much BS is behind them, and how long it takes me to look things up. Sometimes I just like I was talking to someone today and they were telling me a bunch of stuff and it was like I just can't keep up with that. And that's why they do what they do and they do it well and I do what I do. Because if I try to combine the two, shit will not go well on any level. Like one thing that is seriously messed up is how someone could get injured or worse because of his disregard and attitude, and insinuating the PO is based off lies leads Leo to be less active towards the PO. I agree. Um, so you had surgery to keep your brain from falling into your ass. Yeah, my brain was out of my head by 7.5 millimeters. Um, it's just and that's what I don't. Well, here, and I don't think so because Glory Bird, if we go back into this document and you see what the judge actually said, and this is document 16, 15, I forget, 15. I accidentally put 16 up here. Let me change it. I have to organize my things in a certain way so that I can see them. I go year, month, day, document number. That's how I have to organize them in my head. He says, this is where what the judge actually says is very important. And if I were Randy and Jeremy, I would be like highlighting this document. Like I'd be literally taking and writing notes all over this document. He says, they never I'm trying to find where it says because I remember reading it. Oh yeah, plaintiffs have not alleged Owen was a court or law enforcement was so the fact that he says or law enforcement tells me something. It just makes me in the back of my mind go, okay, so I know Florida doesn't see prosecutors as a member of the court and they're not law enforcement. However, he did say law enforcement. So like it see because it says the full faith and credit and enforced by the court and law enforcement personnel of the other state. The fact that it's a fucking weird loophole, but it's a loophole. However, it's only a loophole for Dan Owen. It's not a loophole for the cops. And it's also not a loophole for the Thomases, if you really want to like go there. Or any judge that was seeing these people in court. I mean, if you really want to be that kind of person. Yeah. The judge in Ohio has included no pew-pews, extension of current protection orders and in effect, including pew-pews till next hearing. So, yeah, shouldn't being the key word. It's not Owens, it's not Owens, it's, John Cook and Preston. So, it's fucking but the fact that the 2265 says, "And enforced by the court and law enforcement personnel," I mean, the Dan Owen falls in that loophole of not being considered either in Florida. However, if you really wanna sue the sheriff's department but here's my thing, though. I don't think Randy and Jeremy should do that timing-wise. For me, the timing of this was just bad because of everything else going on. Not I just feel like Randy is spread too thin, and I was having the conversation with someone earlier about whether they, hey, catch up, about, um being spread too thin, whether we don't know actually who is working in Randy's office and who is actually doing all of the documents, if it's just him and Doreen, if they hired paralegals, or if they've outsourced it to somebody else. I'm not implying anything. I'm just we don't know. So I feel like, and my personal belief has been that in initiating this, Randy is spread too thin. And the fact that this was dismissed based on failure to state a claim and nothing to do with prosecutorial immunity or anything like that makes me think of two things. Either they didn't show all their cards when they should have and put more substance in the original complaint and added more of the evidence that they have, and or Randy's spread too thin and just dropped the ball. It Expert, how are you, my friend? What's up, calamari kid? I'm older than you. Aren't I older than you? Expert, how old are you? 'Cause I'm older. I think I'm older than you. Anyway, expert, this is I don't know if you had seen this, but the Federal 3 case, the civil rights case against Dan Owen in Levy County was dismissed today. So, it what has to occur in Florida for officials to uphold out-of-state POs? Um, I don't know, and I don't wanna think about anything like that, but secondly, Florida has to close this loophole of not seeing prosecutors as members of the court because, you haven't seen anything? You're not bothering me. I'm just saying that this is what this is. I mean, uh, does a dismissal remove a response from Randy? In all actuality, yes. However, in the actual, motion to dismiss or the order from the, clerk's judgment, there's 90-day exhibit return deadline set for 3/19/2026. So let's open this up. Maybe, and that could be true. Like I said, I don't talk to Jeremy, I don't know, I just go based on the documents and what the statutes say. Shush, shush your face. Are you organic? Hi, gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Florida appears to be corrupt from the top down. I just it it Excuse you, what are you doing? Bye. Can I She took my lip gloss and ran. I bothered myself. Oh, expert, I gotta talk to you. Do you want to, I might bake some cookies this upcoming week, and I was wondering if you wanted to be my MC and, navigate my or, the the fuck, like, be a be a host of, like yeah, she is cute. The problem is she knows she's cute. She knows it. Like, I love her. I love her. But she knows she's freaking cute. All right, now to the fun stuff. Let me get the drink here. Hello. All right. And in order to be let me close out all these extra tabs. Levy County, let's get into this. And there's a couple of things in here that I have to redact before we get into it. Oh, come on, Squid. What the hell? If I find that document though, I will show it to you because I remember looking at the whole thing. I just don't know what happened to it. Email correspondence, Judge Davis. Okay. 101, 102, and 103. Or 100. This is the evidence log. And I'm not sure who has seen some of this stuff, so I'm horrible at things and stuff. I doubt that. And I'm just going through and redacting. So bear with me for a second because this is one of those things that like I meant to do earlier and then I just didn't. And I always try to be respectful of people, whether I like them or not, because of the fact that I would like people to treat me with some sort of basic respect. So I always it's like I don't have to like people and you'll see me be respectful to people in here. That doesn't mean we're friends or we get along. I'm just saying we talk to each other like I'm just not a dick because I don't want people to be a dick to me. So I try not to be an asshole to people. There's two particular people that I will always be an asshole to because they talked about my kid. Other than that, I give people a basic decent level of respect. I don't even though I might not I'm not a fan of theirs and we are not friends. We would never go out for a drink. However, you know, it did not say with prejudice. So, therefore, Randy could always bring it again. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice at all. However, my ass wouldn't do it just based on timing and the fact that you got a lot of shit to do. And you got a lot of shit going on. And I think he spread too thin. Like it's not my criticism would does not mean that I don't like these people or I don't or I want to see these people fail or anything like that. It's I think sometimes resources are spread too thin and I know a thing or two about spreading yourself too thin. I'm almost there right now because I still haven't got that damn video up on the other channel. So, I almost can relate to the spreading yourself too thin. With that being said, sometimes you just need to you just need to like finish one thing before you start another. Hey, it's Venom. How are you? Let's see. Hold on one second. I gotta do something. Lurking from the bleachers is horrible. There you go. So with that being said, yeah, Venom, drop your link. Like, I agree with you. I love Randy, but I think he's doing way too much. at one time when you have so much to lose track of what needs to be done next. It and that's eh, well, yes, that's a little different than talking about, and this is where I keep my Apple Pencil when I'm using it, and I'm like, I'm like a 16-year-old girl, I will put shit in my hair. Um, with that being said, um, with that being said, I will never not talk about Bubbles and Fleesa because Bubbles was in my chat making fun of the fact that my daughter was running with this at age 2. Whether could she have stabbed herself with it? Yes. Would have it hurt? Yes. But was she going to choke on it? No, because she did not have it in her mouth. But the fact that Bruce thought that you could choke on this, um, the the math ain't mathin'. And Bruce, if you can get this all the way down your throat, you might want to be on OnlyFans. Just saying. And then Fleesa joined in with him on making fun of my daughter. So Fleesa and Bruce will always be made fun of by me, and every chance I can to make fun of Bruce, I will take it. Here we go. Here we go. Like, so, but yes, this is funny. That is joking. Talking about my child getting injured is different. you know, Hales needs a civil rights lawyer. Yeah, so I was actually going through a lawsuit filed by the University of Georgia Athletic Association against a football player. And I know this is a sidebar, and some of y'all don't follow me on any other case I follow besides this one. However, I'm a huge football fan, and I like where the football and the law meet. So, with that being said, I was reading through that document the other day, and they want arbitration because this particular player they believe owes them $390,000 because he signed an NIL contract and then transferred a month later. With that being said, they went through the lawyers that they want to be the arbitration team, for lack of a better phrase. I was going through all the credentials. They had all the resumes posted of all these lawyers, and all I could think about was, Jeremy, take note. Jeremy, take note. You'll actually, if you go back and watch that stream, you will actually, when they're going through the resumes, be like, that could be a good, like, I'm just taking notes here. Jeremy, maybe this lawyer. Like, have you ever, like, maybe this? Because there was ones that were perfect, that were the Lanham Act. There was ones that had the Lanham Act in their resume. If you got the Lanham Act in your resume, well, I mean, that's part of federal too. Brandy, reach out to that person. Like, oh. No, Hales has many cases. They're still doing great, and that's true. However, I think that I'm late. Did Hales lose all cases according to the fleas? Hales lost today. The we just read the order of dismissal against Jeremy in the federal 3 case, which is the Dan Owen case, the federal civil rights case. Other than that, no. Other than that, no. And that was kind of, no offense to this is like I said, nothing here is meant to be rude to people. It's just, it is what it is. I didn't think that one was going to last based on a couple of other things. I think Jeremy has a great case against for having his civil rights violated, and I would bet it's in the Magic 8 Ball. I think that Jeremy has a great case for having his civil rights violated, maybe against Judge DeThomas's. But that's just me. But it makes me wonder about if they just didn't put something in there that they should have, like they have more cards, because you never show all of your hand and you never give all your cards away on the first motion or the first, the initial complaint. However, with that being said, I'm wondering if they left out some things that might have been vital to show this judge, yeah, we really do have a case. It's just I think the Thomases needs, or not the Thomases, but DeSantis needs to step in and especially the first 5 minutes of my stream, I was literally going off on the Florida Attorney General's office, not because of how they argued this case and not in favor of them, but like that is who you have as your Florida Attorney General and personnel and other lawyers in the Attorney General's office, and they're stupid. And that's the top down. Like that's the cream of the crop in Florida. Probably not the best way to represent your state. I'm just saying. And Randy, good to see you. I didn't think it would last, but I think he needs a special lawyer for that case. I do too. Yeah, I do too. I at least think, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But if it was me, I would talk to a civil rights attorney. No offense to Randy. I'm like I said, nothing against Randy, but there are a reason people are specialized in certain areas. There's a reason when you go to therapy, you have a vestibular therapist and you have a lymphedema therapist. Like there's experts in certain areas and there's certifications in certain areas. Maybe you just need someone who's more specialized. I don't know. Yeah. The expert is someone who graduated from law school. Would it be fair to say Jeremy might have a case against the state and the SO as well? Sheriff's office as well. You know, I don't know. Like I said, my hey, Sticky Widget, how are you? And we are going to get into this now that I actually didn't. I think I got it all. So this is the evidence log. If there is something that needs to be redacted that y'all see, please let me know immediately so I can take it off the screen and redact it. Because I never want to be that dick. I'm just never that person because I don't want to be doxxed. I'm just not that kind of person, you know? Like I have my petty moments and I have my asshole moments, but in general, I try to treat people how they want to be treated and how I want to be treated. So I just try not to be that big of a dick. So there's that. So this is Defendant's Exhibit 1, complaint for damages or for injunction and damages under Florida statute. This was a throwback. We've all seen this, right? Like, don't give her any ideas. Do not give her any ideas. Yeah. If you want to see some corruption, read up on the corruption. The Alabama State Board of Pharmacy. Last I heard, the board might be dissolved by the legislature next year. I will write that down because I am all about just showing corruption. I think it's my favorite thing to do. Calling people out on bullshit is kind of my favorite thing to do. Pharmacy, that just could go so many places because pharmacists are supposed to be, I mean, you know? Yep, it's the thumbnail case, but it's like we've all kind of seen this, so some of this stuff I'm going to skip over. If there's anything that we haven't seen or I think we need a refresher on, we will go over it, or if somebody in the chat says something, we I just like how many times they say YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. I wanted to say that should be a drinking game, but I'm not going to contribute to people's y'all will be in the hospital with alcohol poisoning and it'll be my fault because I brought up the drinking game. And I'm just not going to be that person. Although that would be kind of funny. Like, take a shot every time you hear YouTube. Bad neighbors storyline. Oh my God. YouTube. Hales and risks publication and use of Miss Preston's image and name have been for commercial and advertising purposes. I missed a lot today. I heard Judge Dugan was disbarred. I know I'm probably late, but I'm not always immune. Honestly, that has been because I wasn't gonna cover anything with that until Monday because other things like this, became on the forefront. Um, and this morning we had a live sentencing, um, hearing from out in Utah. It I hadn't honestly looked. Um, I hadn't honestly looked. I'm curious, but I don't wanna be off subject, and I'm curious how the Fleas channel has been taken down because Luthman was on last night of the panel calling George mm, uh, mm, I don't know. You need to start doing that after the alcoholic brand starts supporting your channel. Oh my god. Y'all crack me up. Avoiding the appearance of corruption while being corrupt is all get out. Okay, make that make sense. I don't know. Mm. I like how BBB can't figure out the difference between a weekday and a Sunday live. What the hell? I don't you know, yeah. Well, that's last Friday, we did cover the one-eyed wonder from Congress, um, and Sean Ryan's issues, the defamation, cease and desist letter. So we will see if, what's his nuts from Congress, um, actually, sues Sean Ryan. We'll see. His civil rights were violated. The guy in charge told the sheriff department not to do anything, and he's their boss. Well, here's the thing. He didn't there's loopholes in Florida that suck, and I don't agree with it. But I think there was some things that Randy left out. And I believe the things that Randy left out, even though you don't lay out all your cards in an initial complaint, I think it was vital. Do I think the issue was messed up? Do I think that something needs to be done? Yes. However, not every unfortunately, and this is unfortunately, it's just the way it is. I don't not to say that I agree with it. Not everything that happens to us negatively from the government or from law enforcement is actionable. That's the problem. Yes. And Bonnie Fleming, thanks for the $5 super chat. Finally caught alive. I'm so happy. Love your videos. Thank you. You're doing a great job. I try. I'm been focusing on this one this week, and my other channel has slowly like I have not uploaded my video yet, and I have a live stream on Sunday. So our live stream on Sunday might just be shooting the shit, answering questions. And I do a live stream before Jeremy. I do a live stream at about 6:30. Before Jeremy, it's about a half an hour, and we just talk about the video that we had done that week and what people's questions and concerns are and things like that. But because I didn't upload a video this week, we'll just do a general home safety, a home safety. I'll probably have it up tomorrow. So, you know, my other channel, for those of you who don't know, my other channel is using my college degree and my certifications, in corrective exercise and lymphedema therapy to give general advice and safety. We're doing a 5-part fall prevention series this month. So that's my other channel. Whoop. Yes and no, they can make the arrest and file the charges, how it's up to the prosecutor if they actually get prosecuted. So the sheriff's office doesn't want to waste their time, and that's the problem too. It's like a double-edged sword because if nobody does anything, it's hard for me to put into words. I'm not gonna lie. It's frustrating, but it's like if the sheriff's department doesn't do anything about it, then obviously the prosecutor is not gonna prosecute. But if the prosecutor says he's not gonna prosecute, then the sheriff's office doesn't do anything because they're gonna waste their time. And it's like somebody has to break that mold of the sheriff's office has to break that mold of we need to keep arresting people and we need to actually arrest people. Even though he might not prosecute, there's a record of us trying so that if something happens, it's his problem, not ours. It's like covering your own ass. It's just because you sue someone does not mean you will get justice. People caught up with the I'm the this person's side and they are right. They should and I see your point too. And I do. I see a lot of people's points and there's no right answer. There's just no right answer. And that's the problem. Count 3 violation of 540.08 versus Larry Foreman. And then versus Terrence Greaves. I like how they use NIL, name, image, and likeness. Or image, name, and likeness. They can't even get NIL right. Greaves has violated 540. Injunction versus all defendants. Please tell me you've never been on YouTube without telling me. I don't understand. I will never understand. I give you guys credit, but I also think you're fucking out of your mind for being able to tolerate watching. Because that's the thing. Maybe it's just me, but like if I don't like someone, I don't watch them. Like I don't give them the time of day. I don't know. But so many people, I guarantee you over half their views are hate watching. And it's like yeah, yeah, right here. Yeah, and I do agree it doesn't always go as we want. It's like you can't always get what you want. It's yeah. Oh, that's true, and knock on wood, pray, nobody gets hurt, but it's just, you know, eh, yeah, there's people who like, I get sent stuff consistently. It goes into a bless your heart file most of the time. Um, However, it's kind of one of those situations where there are people on the internet who say, "I stir up drama because I get the views and it gives me money." So, I don't people that are like that, I don't bother to give them the watch hours and the time because like hell am I putting freaking money in their pockets. Ugh. Mm, yeah, don't forget that Otter Creek is supposed to private police and fire services to be incorporated. Might have something to do with the quality of the service provided. That's a really good point too. Ugh. Ugh. That's why I had been gone off the flute tube YouTube. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Uh, and that's part of the reason that I show documents is because these are the receipts. Like I'm literally reading the receipts. Plus, with everybody being sue happy and going, I'm going to sue you for this. I'm going to sue you for that. It's like you can't sue me for reading publicly available documents. Like, sorry, bro. like, like, sorry. Um, you know, I have better things to do with my. I don't have many left. And the ones I have left are already designated for other areas, and I can't afford to lose anymore. It's hard enough sometimes reading these documents from people, like, you know? Uh, yeah, I'm not holding my breath, to be perfectly honest with you. Motion for sanctions, these are emails, notice of service of court documents. This is just literally their exhibit list. Safe harbor law. Like, we'll get to the motion for sanctions. Um, we will just skip to the good stuff wherever it went. Here we go. Here we go. Here's everybody's fun stuff. We will do this one. I really wish StreamYard, if you ever like want my opinion on stuff, um, be like Streamlabs and fix your shiza. There we go. Alrighty. Hold on, I gotta do this. There we go. Now I fixed it. All right. Hey, Raven Girl. Glad you shared your other channel. I can apply lots of that info in my job. What is your job, if you don't mind me asking? Here's everybody's favorite. This is what was partially shared yesterday, but it wasn't it wasn't public yet. So it didn't have the whole thing. Angel. Oh, thank you. You want that in your hair? Oh, you want some lip balm or lip gloss? Okay. Here. Here you go. A little bit goes a long way, baby girl, okay? Okay. Okay, you try. All right. Lurking and listening, feeling a little under the weather. Feel better. Have a good night. All right. Order granting motion to strike unauthorized communications and for sanctions for unauthorized practice of law. This cause came before the court December 17th upon defendant Jeremy Hales' motion to strike unauthorized communications and for sanctions. We all know, we've seen this first part, but there's 3 pages. So defendant's motion is granted. The court finds that Bruce Matskin is not licensed to practice law in Florida and has not been admitted pro hoc vice in this matter. Yay! The court further finds that Bruce Matskin has engaged in communications with the court and parties in this case. That was the dumbest fucking thing you could have done, Bruce. I'm not trying to provide you advice because I'm not your friend. I don't like you. I don't like anything about you. However, common sense, if I were to provide you with some common sense, don't stick your big ass nose where it don't fucking belong. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. Like, it's not hard. It's really not. It's just, sometimes allowance good, I will rave at you at 4 a.m. when I drive by. I'll be asleep, hopefully. Including emails dated October 6th, October 7th, and October 9th of 2025, which constitute the unauthorized practice of law, a third-degree felony per Florida statute. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I just have to interject here because I know everybody's excited about this. Trust me, I am too. However, being told and getting a sanctions order and being told that what you did is a third-degree felony is different than an attorney actually filing formal charges, you being arraigned and going to court for these charges and being convicted of these charges. So let's slow off with the felon talk. Like, it is not defamation, because I looked it up because I wanted to make sure I told you accurate information. It is not defamation per se to call someone a felon if they haven't been convicted, but to me it's just skirting a line that I don't want to skirt. It's not illegal, but it's just one of those things of like, there is a difference between a judge writing a motion or an order saying that he found that he, committed a felony and actually being charged and found guilty in a court of law. We have to remember that distinction is still there. So just like Laura Owens, when the Judge Mata referred Laura Owens for prosecution and what she referred her toward, it took a year before between when Judge Mata wrote that order and when Maricopa County attorney actually filed formal charges. So like, I know we're all excited, but I just want to keep not our tempers, but like our expectations tempered right now. Yes, unfortunately, he is not convicted yet. We cross our fingers that he will be. But remember that when you start throwing around the F word, it took a year, and that was for Laura Owens, who we all knew had lied in court. That took a year for the obvious perjury charge. The obvious perjury charge took a year, among some other charges that were added onto. So if he is not charged right away by any county in Florida, don't be upset. Don't think that somebody's not doing their job. The wheels of justice turn very, very slowly. So temper your expectations about a timeline. I'm trying to be realistic with y'all, okay? I'm just trying to be realistic. Yeah, but the difference between her and Bruce is an actual lawyer and she just thinks she's a lawyer. Didn't she say somebody it got back to me, she thought that she could pass the bar tomorrow? Yes. Keep in your effing lane merch coming to the Squid store in spring 2026. Yes, that is another thing that I am working on. I am trying to come up with merch, but my other merch, Rosalind helped me with it because Rosalind is instrumental to the reason I have this channel. That Squid Pro Co logo, Rosalind came up with that. I am not creative enough to do that. I came up with the evidence through motion logo. I did that. However, the Squid Pro Co logo and the Squid merch, 99% of it is Rosalind. So me trying to do stuff on my own is going to take a little bit more time. And I might send a couple pictures to people and be like, "Is this okay? Do you like this?" So if you get a picture with a possible merch idea on it, and please give me your honest opinion because that's not really my area of expertise. Remember, I am an occupational therapy assistant, not a graphic designer. There are many people in this world, Rosalind being the number one person I know, who are smarter than me. And Sherry, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thanks for doing you. I try to always be me. Like me or not like me, like I'm always going to be me. I'm not going to fake it for the camera. This is just who I am. Lower expectations was hilarious. Well, it's temper your expectations. Oh, and this is certainly true too. On the other hand, just because he hasn't been found guilty yet doesn't mean he didn't commit it. That is true. However, before we get an actual judgment and a guilty verdict, it will be some time, and it will not be a short amount of time. I can tell you that. Laura Owens' trial was pushed back. So we're going on June 2024 was when her hearing, June 10th, 2024 was when her hearing was. And it's December 2025? Like, the wheels of justice turn slow. Yeah, and they grind to a halt sometimes. Very, very slowly. H could face the charges in mass in Connecticut too. He could, but I don't really know because it's an interstate thing, and welcome to the US where every state's like its own country. LP stated that she has a close relationship with Dan Owens. What other officials does LP has a close relationship with? That's weird. What are always LP's relationship with officials affects cases? He's creepy. I want a rage quitter shirt. Rage quitter. I'm also coming up with new emojis. There is a Celsius emoji. Emoji that I did. So that's I'm getting places. We're slowly increasing the production quality. It's good, stuffy. It would be good in a coffee mug. I have coffee mugs, I think. I have coffee mugs. I do have that. His peers are all creeps. Yeah, but all right. So, referable for prosecution to the Florida Supreme Court. So, it goes straight to the top because he's a lawyer. All communication, including emails and any legal documents sent or prepared by Matskin in this case, are hereby stricken from the record. Matskin is hereby admonished for engaging in unauthorized practice of law in Florida without proper admission to the Florida bar or pro hoc vice. And that was the dumbest thing. Like, I'm not a lawyer, and even I knew not to fucking do that. Bert's Maskin is hereby enjoined from further communications with this court until properly admitted pro hoc vice pursuant to Rule 1.2 of the Florida Rules of General Practice and Judicial Administration, or associated with Florida counsel who actively participates in the matter. Which means she's got to get a lawyer, which, good luck with that. Oh my God. Maybe she's preaching from the polls, and I mean, not this thingy from the club. Oh, oh. All right. Plaintiff Michelle Preston is hereby ordered to identify to the court and all parties the name of anyone not listed to practice, licensed to practice law in Florida and has not been admitted pro hoc vice, who gives legal advice to her in matters before this court or drafts paperwork on her behalf, which is then submitted to the court in the future. That should be an interesting conversation. That should be an interesting conversation. Swear to third, Harvey Levine saying I'm a lawyer. Oh, I love this chat. This right here is what YouTube is supposed to be. YouTube is supposed to be fun. My other channel is informative, but it's still fun. But all the drama and crap, like YouTube is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an enjoyable way to spend your time, make a little bit of a living, because my goal is not to have to go back to a 9-to-5 job when the little goes to school, get my other channel monetized so I can actually make progress and help people out. This is the snarky channel. That's the help people out channel. You know, it. So, here we go. Oh, YouTube unsubscribed you again? What's going on? I don't know. I haven't been on the good side of YouTube's algorithm lately. Yeah, drama llamas are welcome as long as I can laugh. I am trying to find, and then we have the emails, but I think we already went over the emails. I always want to say pro hoc vices because legal vices, you know? However, that is all I have for you guys tonight. Wait, one more thing. The document 104, the other order, was locked when I went in there. I'm gonna check one more time just to make sure that it's still locked. If it's still locked, I will upload a short or put it on as a community page when I find that it's not locked anymore. However, yep, image 104 or document 104, order granting defendant's motion for sanctions. It's 4 pages long, but it's still locked. I will be making a short video, whether it's a short and or a short form video. I will, we will, I'm just saying. We'll go with that. What are my plans for streams next week? Oh yes, because next week is Christmas. Probably Monday and maybe Tuesday. Wednesday is Christmas Eve, right? Like, hold on. The fact that I have to look at a calendar to figure out when Christmas is, this is how you know. If Mama Squid is still in the chat, wish her a happy birthday. Her birthday is in a couple of days. And yes, to those of you asking, with my mom's birthday so close to Christmas, I did get her 2 separate gifts because I'm a good kid. 24 is Christmas Eve. Yeah, 24 and 25, I'm not. Friday after Christmas, I might do a live stream, and we'll probably do one Saturday. So 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th. And then we might do one tomorrow too, based on if anything goes down. So, because today was crazy. Today was crazy. I did actually record the other video. I will be uploading it. It's about home safety, and top 5 things you can do in your house to save or to limit your falls. However, and it ties into our whole 5 video fall prevention series. However, this one will be the most basic. It's sitting right here at my desk because I've been sick all week. So it's I've been sick all week. I literally thought, what was it? Wednesday? What? Tuesday. Tuesday, I literally thought that I was going to go to the hospital because I was convinced that my patch that's on my brain was leaking. Um, it's I was super convinced that I was dying, that I was gonna have to have brain surgery again because I have a patch that's attached to my brain. They took a piece of bone and they put a patch. Um, so I have no bones. I have no bone right here. But if that leaks, I'm gonna need another surgery. And the fact that my scar has been acting up lately, and then I had that really bad headache on Tuesday, I so thought I was going to have to go to the hospital and get surgery. I was convinced that I had a CSF leak. Absolutely convinced. Um, Thanks to the 4 people who hit the thumbs down button. You guys you guys do it. The haters do it because they wanna be rude and they think it's funny and they think it but guess what? The algorithm sees thumbs down and thumbs up the same way. So, thank you. Yeah. I am. I'm working on it. I was also fixing my computer today, so who was who was fired? Uh, I don't know. Who was fired? Oh, there is some, there's more football drama. There's more football drama. Oh, Judge Dugan. Yes. Judge Dugan. That's what I wanted to cover. That'll be Monday for the transcripts and probably Tuesday as well. And depending on the interest level in that, um, I might get the rest of the transcripts. We'll see. But I did want to get defense's opening statements and the judge that testified for the prosecution. So I'm going to see if usually about this time, um, Mo and Shizzy go live and do an FNL pre-party. However, does it show you who hit the thumbs down button? No, but I know. So Judge Dugan is a circuit court judge. Well, she was a circuit court judge in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, which is my home. Like I'm from Waukesha County. It's my home area. So I was very interested in it. But she was accused of aiding or basically harboring a criminal, an illegal alien, and keeping him from getting arrested by ICE in the courthouse, directing him out the door that the jury goes and not a public doorway, among other things. And she tried to hide behind judicial immunity in the fact that it was a federal case. And I love federal cases because I have access to PACER. I am so interested. I was so interested in it. Well, her trial was this week, and she was found guilty of the felony charge, but innocent of the misdemeanor charge. So, yeah, we shall see where that goes. So, how's the spirit? I have not ever since I told um uh whatever was here to leave my daughter alone, otherwise I was gonna kick it out permanently. Um, I haven't seen nothing, haven't heard nothing. Yeah. Yeah, it was I have a whole playlist on it, but her trial was this week, and I decided to order some of the transcripts, and it was supposed to take them I gave it the file that I did was $1.10 a page. So instead of 10 cents a page, Gail, it was, it was, instead of 10 cents a page, it was $1.10 a page. But that was for 2 weeks, and they got it to me in, like, an hour. So, that's a part case may be picked up by feds, say I don't like her in a national forest. Oh, yeah, and I couldn't find that, devil fan, devil fan, devil fan. Um, right there. unless it's a live hearing that is at a certain time, like today's hearing was at 11 o'clock, so we went live early. Um, Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm consistent, so y'all can, because I know some of y'all don't get notifications. So Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m. And if I'm ever not going live, I generally put a community post and saying I'm not going to be live today. Fridays are a chaos day. Whatever happens, happens. Sometimes we have court hearings. Sometimes the shit hits the fan, like today, and everything, all hell breaks loose, and we have shit to talk about. And sometimes we just do a members only stream. But Fridays are done really later, so I can go straight to Shizzy, the FNL pre-party, and then he goes straight into the expert. So we have a plan. So, all right. But y'all have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Yeah. $1.10 a page. If I wanted to get it within 7 days, and this is the weird part. The 7 days was $5.40 a page. But what's weird is I paid for 14 days and they gave it to me in less than a day. So she might have just not been busy. Thought it meant maybe a special time. No, I'm consistent. I'm consistent because it's not only good for you, it's good for me and it's good for the little because she stays on a schedule and she knows 2 o'clock every day, mommy's got to go to work. So we eat lunch, we hang out, we do a little bit of colors or whatever we're doing that particular day, and then she gets quiet time and I go to work. And then when we get done, we start cooking dinner and daddy gets home. So it's we have a consistent like schedule every day, and she likes schedules. I like schedules. It's been working. Yes, right there. It's been working. I'm back. Had to go help lift a keg into a truck. You can start over now. Yeah. See you. Think he's good for all the documents and sharing you do. It's greatly appreciated. No, thank you. Thank you for being an awesome person. And just being you. You're awesome. Like, yeah, it allows mommy to have work time and the little to have quiet time, and we know how to, you know. And then I don't feel like I'm being a bad mom and ignoring her, because we spend the morning doing our thing. We get everything done. We clean up. And then I have to, between the time that I get done streaming and the time that Mr. Squid gets home, is cleaning the house, because that 2 hours of me streaming, she, makes a mess. So, like, but y'all have a great day. Yeah, courts are winding down for the Christmas break. And that's why I have the transcripts, is we have stuff to do. But that's when I will be catching up on my other channel, hopefully batch recording some things. So I have 2 or 3 videos ready to go with you guys. So what do you think about the Minnesota Wild? I have not paid much attention to hockey this year. Maybe it's because I'm trying to manage two two channels, be a stay-at-home mom, have an actual like outside of the house job once a week, and everything, and it's still football season. So I'm kind of like, but there's a building here that is abandoned, but it used to be a Publix back in the day, but people are starting to work on it like it's going to be something else. And someone was like, there should be an ice rink in there. I'm like, my skates are sitting in the attic somewhere, um, collecting dust. I would love to put on my skates again because I was a figure skater. I would love to put on my skates again. And I just can't. And I just can't. So I doubt. I live in South Georgia, man. Like, I doubt that'll be an ice rink. But like when someone mentioned it, I was like, oh, that would be great. That would be amazing. So y'all have a great day. I have us. Yeah, Oklahoma Alabama game is going to be interesting to see if the coach resigned. Yeah. So I have thoughts, and there's more NIL shit hitting the fan. There's transfers. Georgia just lost a coach to Texas. Isn't Texas's new defensive coordinator? It's just a fucking thing. It's just a thing. Like, yeah, right there. Up or down, it's all engagement. Yeah. Like, it's, it is what it is. I hate it. 5:30 in the morning, Pat skating when I was a child. Oh, I never liked those 5:30 a.m. sessions. Every toddler grabs and runs because they think they're being funny. Yeah. But Alabama about to lose. No, they're not. He is not leaving. I'm sorry. And he can stay as long as he wants because, you know, wear one of those puffy helmets if you skate. Nah. I have never gotten a head injury from skating. I have gotten a broken rib, a bruised finger, a messed up shoulder, like, all that, but I've never hurt my head. But anyway, I have us set up to redirect. They don't start till 8 o'clock, so you got about a half an hour. But tell Shizzy and Mo that I said hi and I love them both. I was going to send Shizzy a link to this stream, but I figured he would be busy, so I didn't. I probably should have, but anyway, thanks guys for hanging out with me. I love hanging out with you guys. It is so much fun. I wish that case would not have been dismissed. However, it's we kind of saw it coming. Um and it leads us to the bigger picture. And this is the problem that I get in the comment section all the time of, well, this and this and this and this. It's yes, but not everybody that does us wrong is wrong in the eyes of the law. And is that an issue with the law? Is that an issue with the state itself? Or is that just an issue with people being bad at their jobs? It has to be a happy medium of you can't sue everybody all the time. Not only is it a waste of money in some instances, but when is it time to realize that people are just assholes and just move on? And realize that people are going to be assholes. People are never going to change no matter how hard we try or how much we sue them. They're always going to be assholes. And at what point do we just come to that realization that there are just some fights that aren't worth fighting? And I know that sounds bad, but at what point do we just have to go, you suck at life, but I can't sue you? It's a hard question, and I'm not saying that I have the right answer, because I don't have an answer. It's just questions that food for thought that I like to bring up on this channel to invoke self-reflection and asking questions of people and things, because it's kinda awful. Yeah, but moves in the field is not any better. Moves in the field, outside 3 turns is not fun. I was working on adult silver when I moved, so there's that. I need to start a channel just to talk hockey. You really like these long Irish goodbyes. I'm from Wisconsin, plus we got 30 minutes before they start, so I know where y'all are going. So, but anyway, y'all have a great day. Bye, Patrick.